Recently, a human-sized Labubu doll was sold for $150,000 on the black market. Yeah, you heard that right. The whole internet is going crazy for this ugly-looking doll. Hundreds of people have been lining up at stores since 3 a.m. Some even broke the vending machines. How does this doll add $1.6 billion to PopMart in just 24 hours? But before we break down that viral recipe, before we talk about how you can use it and maybe earn a shit ton of money too, we need to understand how Labubu hijacked you. What tools did they use? By making it a form of gambling for adults, the popularity of Labubu dolls is deeply connected to psychological principles that resemble gambling, and there are 4 reasons proving it. Let's start with the first one, intermittent reinforcement. Sounds fancy, but it's simple. It's coordinating a schedule where desired behavior is not rewarded every time it occurs. The same system is found in slot machines and loot boxes in video games. Labubu dolls are primarily sold in blind boxes, meaning you don't know what you'll get, so each purchase creates suspense. The odds of getting a secret or rare edition are typically very low, e.g. 1 in 72 or 1 in 144 chances for certain rare figures. And once you get a rare figure, it triggers a dopamine spike. Not getting it makes you want to try it again. This unpredictability is akin to a lottery ticket or a slot machine. The thrill of not knowing what's inside and the anticipation of potentially getting a highly sought after version make the unboxing experience special and exciting for people. This has led to comparisons to casinos, where the process of pulling the lever or opening a box provides a dopamine hit regardless of the outcome. This concept famously demonstrated by B.F. Skinner's experiments with pigeons.
And we're going to try another pigeon now, and I will try to pick out some particular pattern of it.
Show that when a reward is given at unpredictable or irregular intervals, it makes the act of seeking the reward highly addictive. PopMart has weaponized this feeling, making each box a calculated gamble. And this is where the gambler's fallacy kicks in. You know that feeling, I've already opened 5 common ones, so the next one has to be rare, right? Believing past misses increase future success. It's gonna be next time, and you get an emotionally charged loop that drives irrational spending. Even PopMart knows this. In fact, their own prospectus said it. 70% of their market is willing to buy 3 or more boxes just to get one specific doll. Blind boxes often produce almost wins. Say you get a near rare figure but not enough for a full pull. That near miss heightens engagement, pushing repeat purchases. In essence, the blind box model masterfully combines 3 psychological principles. The gambler's fallacy compels consumers to continue buying, believing their luck will eventually turn. This transforms toy purchasing into a form of gambling, where the thrill of the hunt and the perceived proximity to a win are as powerful as the actual reward itself. But hey, this rabbit hole goes even deeper. Hundreds of people are lining up outside stores since 3 a.m. Why? Well, because most of the time they're sold out, and that's not by accident. This is a calculated shortage strategy designed to create artificial scarcity. PopMart limits how many they make to increase the demand. Stores restock randomly, no schedule, no warning, so people panic. When those boxes drop, it's chaos. Near riots in stores, online stampedes, and there's a science behind it too. Scarcity triggers loss aversion. Basically, we hate missing out way more than we enjoy winning. It's not just I want this, it becomes what if I never get it again? That fear drives people to buy faster and buy more, and PopMart turns up the heat with limited editions. Giant ones, plush ones, all rare. The secondary market, even crazier. Figures that cost $20 now resell for $300, sometimes thousands. One life-size Labubu sold for $150,000. Yeah, you heard that right, and suddenly, this isn't just collecting, it's investing. Treating them like cryptocurrency or an investment, like an ROI. This further fuels the hype and creates headlines, contributing to the cycle of desire. But wait, there's even more to it. There are other psychological triggers quietly pushing people to keep buying. Take this one, completion bias. Ever felt the urge to finish a set? even when you didn't really need it. People have a strong tendency to want to complete a set, driving them to buy multiple blind boxes in hopes of acquiring all variations, especially the rare ones. They want all the variants of Labubu so they can show them off to friends or online like collectibles, which is another trigger. Owning a Labubu, particularly a rare one, has become a badge of status, signaling that one is trendy, cool, and connected. The ugly cute aesthetic allows for self-expression and identity projection, which can be particularly appealing to Gen Z. But here's where it gets even darker. Critics and sources express concern that this business model borders on psychological exploitation and can lead to addiction, regret, and financial strain. Stories of people going broke, stealing, or committing crimes to obtain dolls have emerged. Physical blind boxes are considered gambling-like in many jurisdictions, with growing calls for transparency on odds and age restrictions. The US, Europe, and parts of Asia are debating how to treat mystery toys under consumer protection laws. In fact, some countries are stepping in. China banned sales to kids under 8. Singapore might cap how much you spend on a single mystery box, because blind boxes are basically gambling. And once you're hooked here, betting on sports or other risky stuff doesn't seem like a big step anymore. After learning the truth behind Labubu's psychological playbook, let's flip the lens. Now it's time to break down how these brands use these tools to make money so fast, and how you can create something like that and make a fortune for yourself. There are 4 pillars to it. It all starts with the first pillar, the hero moment. Every viral product, it begins with a single, unforgettable spark. A moment so curious you can't help but ask, what is that, and why does everyone suddenly want it? Surprisingly, this moment rarely comes from flashy ad campaigns. Most of the time, it's organic. It feels real, like when K-pop superstar Lisa casually posted a photo hugging a Labubu. She didn't even promote it, she just held it, and that was enough. That single photo, it made Labubu feel rare, intimate, and instantly cool. Suddenly the world wanted in. That's the hero moment. No marketing needed, just pure emotional spark. You've seen it before, like the Stanley Cup surviving a fiery car crash, still holding ice. Or Prime, a hydration drink turned cult object by Logan Paul and KSI's fandom. Notice something? Virality doesn't start with brands shouting. It starts with us whispering, wait, what is that? That's how Labubu exploded. One genuine post that ignited a billion-dollar wildfire. But what comes next? That first spark should kick off something even bigger. The shareability engine. Remember the tool of Blindbox that we discussed before? Now it's time to use that tool to create a buzz on online platforms. Each doll comes in a blind box, meaning buyers don't know which character they got until they open it. That mystery is content gold. TikTok exploded with 1.9 million plus unboxing videos, not because Pop Mart paid creators, but because fans couldn't help sharing the thrill. Every clip was a micro story, a reaction, a hope, a scream when someone found the rare gold edition. Compare this to Prime bottles becoming collectibles, or Stanley Cup fans showing off color variants. Shareability isn't just aesthetics, it is psychological. People want to display what makes them feel lucky, rare, and part of the in crowd. And in Labubu's case, they didn't even need a marketing budget because everyone became their marketer. The lesson here, make a product people want to create content around, because the most powerful marketing isn't bought, it's felt. Now let's turn up the pressure even more by turning supply into a ticking clock. Enter the psychological weapon, engineered scarcity. Yep, the same trick used by sneaker drops, concert pre-sales, and even your local slot machine. Scarcity doesn't just limit access, it builds obsession. You don't buy Labubu, you chase it. Just like Prime launched in drops that caused kids to line up at 5 AM and Stanley Cups disappeared within minutes online, Labubu built a system where missing out felt painful and scoring one felt like a win. The result, emotional attachment, not to the product but to the chase. A doll priced at $30 suddenly feels like a treasure. The game is no longer about owning it, it's about winning it. And just when you think that's the end, they take it to the final extreme. Cultural lock-in. Because hype alone doesn't last. So what did Pop Mart do? It partnered with Harry Potter, DC Comics, and Minions, then launched accessories like keychains, purses, and charms. Now Labubu hangs off handbags like a designer label. It's not just a toy, it's a status symbol. Just like Prime entered USC and WWE, and Stanley Cups collabed with celebrities like Post Malone and Messi, Labubu transcended its original form. It became part of your identity. This is what psychologists call social identity theory. When people adopt a product to express who they are or the tribe they belong to. Wearing Air Jordans, you're not just wearing sneakers, you're repping streetwear culture. Drinking Prime, you're not just staying hydrated, you're signaling fandom, loyalty, and clout. Owning Labubu, it says you belong to this weird niche ultra-online world, one that gets it. And when a product gets culturally locked in like that, it becomes almost recession-proof, because now you're not buying the product, you're buying what it says about you. That's the final form of hype, when the product becomes your mirror. Sounds pretty brilliant, right? Here's the thing. There's a darker side to all of this, one that nobody talks about until it's too late. Because when you build something on dopamine, scarcity, and identity, you're also setting it up for burnout. And that is where the downfall begins. Prime Energy launched in 2022, fueled by celebrity hype. Kids lined up at dawn, bottles reselling for hundreds, generating over $250 million in its first year. By late 2023, the shelves were overstocked, a clear sign that the hype was fading. UK sales crashed by 70%, US numbers tanked by 40% in early 2024. Same thing with fidget spinners in 2017. They sold over $500 million, but just 1 year later, they were nowhere. Why? Because once the novelty wore off, there was no reason to keep buying. These things, they weren't built on value, they were built on dopamine. And now Labubu might be next. Sure, it's still a multi-billion-dollar craze, but the cracks are showing. The overexposure and the trend fatigue will hit Labubu's sales. With every influencer and collector showing off blind boxes, the thrill is fading. Some fans are embarrassed to still like it. The collector's regret and burnout will also come into play. People are unloading their entire stash, even saying, I don't even know why I bought this. That's not joy, that's regret. And it's not just emotions. In Europe and Thailand, once craze markets now show stores half-stocked and sales flat. Buzz that echoed across social media has started to fade. Worse, fake Labubus or Lafufus are everywhere. Even expert collectors are getting fooled, and that's messing with trust. Because when anyone can fake it, no one wants the real thing, and that, it might just be the beginning of the end. The rise of products like Labubu, Prime Energy, and Stanley Cups, particularly those utilizing a blind box model, serves as a rising red signal for our society due to their inherent gambling mechanisms and resulting in negative societal impacts. And guess what? Apps do the same thing. Only difference, their tools are different. And that's exactly how Duolingo got you hooked. It didn't just teach you a language, it trapped you in a loop, with streaks, with notifications, with dopamine hits disguised as progress. Feels productive, right? But are you learning or are you just addicted? To understand how they pulled it off and how apps hijack your habits, check out this video on the left. It breaks it all down, and trust me, you'll never look at your phone the same way again.